Hi, I'm polymer artist Helen Breil. In this video, I will be showing you how to make super easy folded beads from polymer clay. Here you see examples of the versatility of the folded bead technique. I wrote a project for this technique for the Step-by-Step Beads magazine 2006 September-October issue. But in this new 2013 version, I'm going to show you how to use my texture stamps for a really effective surface treatment. This is a great project for beginners, but could also apply to intermediate level clayers who can create more advanced designs. In part 1 of this video, I will take you through the basic technique of creating a folded bead. In part 2, I will show you how to create a patterned surface effect for your folded beads using my rubber stamps. And finally, in part 3, I will show you how versatile this technique is by showing you various design ideas. The folded bead technique has the advantage of easily and instantly giving your work three-dimensional form. Cutters in various shapes and sizes can produce many interesting shapes. You will find my Helen Breil design stamps as well as Pixie Art stamps have a wide range of patterns to choose from for this easy and fun surface technique. For those new to polymer clay, please see my claying tips page on my website for all the basics to get you started. Here's an example of the bead we are about to form. We start by trimming two opposing sides of the sheet to be the length of the bead you'd like to make. I'm using a grid I've placed under a sheet of glass to help me measure out 3.7 centimeters or 1.5 inches in this example. Fold your sheet gently in half, lining up those trimmed edges, but leaving the area near the fold open. Place the folded sheet back down on your grid. Take a small piece of kitchen plastic wrap and place it over your folded sheet. Take a cookie cutter, in this case I'm using a 5 centimeter, approximately 2 inch in length pod-shaped cutter, and position the cutter the same amount below the fold on each edge, leaving enough room for whatever cording you have planned. Press down firmly to make the cut. And here's your folded bead. You may be wondering why I use the plastic wrap with the cutter. The plastic wrap provides drag that helps connect the two layers of clay together and helps ensure this seam doesn't open up. At this point, you can decide which side of the bead will be the front. The seam will be a little less noticeable if you use the side that was face down during your cut. There might be a bit of a lip that was created by the cutter. Just use your finger to smooth that lip to the back side of your bead. Put the bead face up, down on your work surface, and gently press along the lower edge to push the edge down to slightly bevel it. You can manipulate the bead to create a more pronounced curve if you like. Maybe your edges are a bit messy or you'd like a different angle on those edges. Use a sharp blade to make the cut without the plastic wrap. You should be able to open up the cording holes with the needle tool if they do stick together slightly. And that's how you make a simple folded bead. And here's a finished example of this style of bead. Let's do another example, but this time I'm going to demonstrate making a large focal bead or pendant. 2 tips for making large folded beads. It's important that your clay is not overly soft or sticky, or you will find the front and back of the bead sticking together, losing that nice rounded form this technique creates. I find Kato clay the least sticky of the clays. Try leaching your clay if you're using other brands. And in order for the rounded form to hold its shape, the large beads need your starting sheet to be thicker than for smaller beads. I generally use a sheet approximately 2.1 millimeters thick. Here's a finished example of the bead shape I will step you through. For this large focal bead, we start with a larger and thicker sheet of clay. Fold the clay in half as we did with the small bead. But now I will take a different approach to creating the cut edges. I created this paper template of an asymmetrical shape that I liked, and I'm simply going to place it over the clay and follow the lines, curving the blade as necessary. Instead of using a cutter, I'm going to use my blade and no plastic wrap. I'm going to be adding a strip of clay to all the cut edges as a border, so I'm not concerned about the seams opening up. This style of bead is great for thick cording options like fibers, Viking knit, or kumihimo, so ensure that your cord openings are big enough for what you plan to use. If you do find the bead has collapsed and is sticking together, try using a Q-tip to gently pry them apart. Don't be afraid to give the pendant some added interest by manipulating its form. Now we're ready to apply the border. Apply a bit of liquid clay along the bottom edge. Here I have a strip of clay I've cut from a sheet at the same thickness as my bottom cut edge. Apply it to the bottom edge. Trim the excess off. Apply some liquid clay along one of the side edges. Then apply a thinner sheet of border trim to the side edges. Start at the bottom and work your way around the top and back down again. Trim away the excess clay. Spend a few minutes to ensure you have good contact. And do the same with the other side. Here again is the finished example of this shape and the border. So there are two approaches to creating a folded bead.